could have never written a book 5 years ago. It does bring back a flood of emotions. Everybody's story is unique. My story is unique for a variety of reasons, and one of them is I grew up in a mental institution, a home with 20 mental patients, and a lot of them schizophrenic. My room was in with their rooms. They were like a bunch of crazy uncles for me. I wasn't loved a lot per se, and with hugs and kisses at all, but I lived a very rich childhood with my imagination. I really feel like that's part of my success because some of the things I imagined came true.
Good day, and welcome to the special edition of We Now. My name is Dominic Pop, and we're coming to you live from the We Digital Studios, and I don't have to introduce this guy, but I will. It's my job, and he's on a book tour right now. Mr. Curtis Joseph, the outstanding former NHL goaltender, joins us in the studio. Thanks for coming in today, Curtis. And when you look back at that video still, does it still kind of hit home?
Well, I hadn't been back to the house since I left as an 18-year-old, so I was always curious to want to go through it, and it's changed on the inside. The little apartment that we had on the inside was changed, so I wanted my kids to see exactly how it was, but certainly it brought back a flood of memories.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's going on in your world these days. The book is out. I've had a chance to skim through it somewhat. I haven't been able to read all of it yet, and my head was spinning reading parts of it and just looking at what you went through, and you know, fair to say that what you went through has helped what you got you here today?
Oh, for sure, and that's the reason I wrote the book, was to help people. It wasn't for anybody to feel sorry for me. I have had a great life, but certainly it wasn't the normal childhood. I wouldn't subject my kids to an environment like that, but it definitely made me who I was. There was I didn't know any better as a young kid, but through hockey and through sport, I got to go over to other kids' houses and enjoy their families. And certainly it was not ideal, but it made me who I was. It made me want more. It made me strive to want more out of life.
Mm-hmm. The book, there was a foreword by Wayne Gretzky in the book, which again, it just really made me pause, really. The words he said about you, calling you the ultimate, basically the ultimate teammate, the ultimate team player. What does that mean to you?
So yeah, I joke with my friends. I say, wow, it was worth writing the book to have Wayne Gretzky say something nice about you. Because he's my idol. He's most of our idols who played in the NHL. He's, you know, to me, he's the greatest player that I ever saw and ever played against. But, you know, yeah, he was very generous and very nice. I had a chance to play with him in the Olympics and on the World Cup of Hockey, and also in Phoenix. He was our coach for a couple of years, so it was good to see that side of him as a coach, and it was fun for me to be his goalie for at least a year and a half. So you know, I got to know him a little bit.
Well, that was kind of funny. And at the end of the quote, even on a bad Phoenix hockey team, he says, you know, he was saying all these great things about you. Even on a bad Phoenix hockey team, the guy was still
honest.
The ultimate teammate. Yeah, he was very honest. That's right. You didn't have the traditional path to hockey like a lot of kids, where, you know, they played their minor hockey. You know, if they were good enough, they went up to the junior B level, maybe the OHL level. Right. You started late.
Yeah, I started very late. My adopted parents didn't want me to play hockey, and that was it. There was no discussion about it. And then, you know, a relative had played hockey and was leaving the area, so I got a chance to go play. I couldn't skate, and I didn't want to be a goalie. I played road hockey out all the time and scored goals and got out there on the ice, and I couldn't skate. So they put me in net, and I always say the position chose me because I couldn't skate. And I never really wanted to be a goalie, but it seemed to work out. And I had, you know, 3 kids in minor hockey, and they're past minor hockey now. And so I had a lot of parents come to me and say, hey, you know, which AAA team did you play for? They were assuming that you had to go this route to make it to the NHL. And I'd always sit back and go, oh, geez, if you only knew the route I took to get where I was. So that helps spurn me to write a book.
Well, aside from the book, did you feel that hockey was maybe the outlet you needed, and that was going to, you know, put a positive path into your life?
Oh, no question. There was a lot of it was I liked the normalcy of the families, and I loved being on part of a team. And I was a very shy kid, so I could express myself through sport. I mean, you just had to run fast, skate hard, play hard, and you didn't have to speak or interact with anybody. So it filled all the needs that I wanted in life, and I became pretty good at it. So that also filled a confidence need that I needed. So it just was, hockey's been everything to me, and it's continued to be, and it continues to be that for my family.
Jekyll and Hyde. When you're on the ice, and we were watching some video earlier today where you actually chased the referee down, knocked them down. That was during the playoffs, I believe, against Ottawa. But there's this fierce competitor in you. And then when you're off the ice, everybody just says such wonderful things about you as a person, as a human being. Is there anything in the middle?
Well, I always tell kids, listen, you can be humble and everything off the ice, but as soon as you step on that ice, you better bring it. You better bring your competitive spirit, and that'll be your signal. As soon as you put one foot on the ice, you better be able to turn it on. Like, whatever you do, off the ice is fine, but you got to bring that competitive spirit. And all my best teammates that I played with were guys who wanted to win, and you could see it. And so certainly I felt like that was my way. I hated losing more than I liked winning. So I think that's what it takes to make it to the top.
How much of it was influenced the competitiveness on the ice with your childhood? I mean, obviously you were in a survival mode as a young child, and then of course at the NHL level, there's guys lining up to take your job, and it's survival there.
Right. I think being independent as a kid, I had to make my own lunches and do everything since kindergarten and find my own way. And so when you get older, you know that you can't rely on anybody else. If you want something, you have to do it yourself. You have to take charge of your life and take chances. And I certainly did that in different times in my life. I took chances even when it was uncomfortable. And that's what you need. You can't be afraid to fail. And that was my attitude. And I always had a positive outlook. I brought a good attitude everywhere I went, and just a positive energy.
Over 900 games in NHL, a goals against average of under 3, 2.79, I think, something like that, in over 900 games in NHL. 51 shutouts, 8 shutouts being your best season with the Oilers. These are incredible numbers. And talk about being a workhorse. I mean, numerous seasons where you played 65-plus games every year. When you look back at all of that, do you shake your head a little bit and say, well, did I really do that?
Well, I look at it now and know how tired I am after working out at the gym, and I'm like, wow, playing 70 games in a year and then playoffs. That's I think one year with exhibition I played 100 games. And so, but you're young. You're young and you have lots of energy, and fortunately I was very healthy and had great teammates, and it was the time of our lives for sure. But I look back very proudly on what we were able to accomplish and how hard it was, but how fun it was also. I think that's the difference, is that I really enjoyed the game, and that stems from my childhood. It was an outlet for me. So, being at the rink was a pleasure. Practicing was a pleasure. Going to see my friends was the ultimate. So to me, it was never work. It was always fun.
And was there any? I mean, I know every player wants to win that Stanley Cup, and unfortunately, you didn't get that.
Right.
Is that a failure, or I don't know how anybody can look at your career as a failure, Curtis?
No, it's something that I strive for, and always kept me hungry. I was very hungry. Guys always say, I wish I had won my cup in my first year, or it would have taken the pressure off. But certainly it was a quest and something that you thought about when you worked out in the summers. And just never. It's tough to do, especially when they went from 21 teams to 30 teams. It made it even tougher to make the playoffs. But it was such a goal of mine. I know I didn't leave anything on the table or leave anything on the ice as far as fitness or anything else. So it was something that was a goal of mine, but it's tough to do. You got to be healthy.
People take it for granted, that's for sure.
Exactly.
And I see in the book as well that your son, he rubs it into you pretty good, carrying around a mock Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, no, we have a a funny relationship. Me and the kids, we joke around about hockey all the time. Hockey's our life. So, you know, if there's a jab to be had about hockey or not winning the Stanley Cup, or, you know, I give it to them about their game also. So hockey has been all of our lives, and having boys in hockey and being around hockey families as an adult is just joyful. And we do have playful memories. We played mini sticks in the basement for forever, and very competitively. And yeah, my middle boy, he gives it to me a lot.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You can tell him that you played in the NHL, and he hasn't made it there. Let's talk quickly about the book tour. Of course, CUJO is going to be at Indigo, right across the road here from our WE TV studio at 7 o'clock. So you still have time to go there and purchase the book, and I'm sure CUJO will be happy to sign it for you. So you know, make sure you get that. What a great Christmas gift it would make for everybody. So head over to Indigo shortly after watching this, and he'd love to see you there. I guess just to wrap this up here, Curtis, again, want us to say thank you to you for coming in and taking the time to join us. Also want to thank your assistant here, Mike Miller, for taking the time. I know you're really busy. Where do you go from here? What else do you want to do? I mean, it sounds like your life's pretty complete. You've got an outstanding family going. You seem so happy there. Is there anything else that you're shooting for right now?
Well, I do some ambassador work for the Maple Leafs, which is a lot of fun. It's great to see the fans and meet everybody. Now that I'm retired, it's fun to tell stories. Wendell Clark, Darryl Sittler, Darcy Tucker do the same thing. It's a lot of fun, but kids are in a good spot. You got to make sure you raise them right. And no, I enjoy watching hockey. I enjoy watching the Leafs play, and play some golf, and make sure I have lots of family time.
Glenn Sather bought you some clubs, didn't he?
Yeah, Glenn Sather bought us some clubs. Yeah, he was true to his word.
Yes, he was. That's the other thing, before we let you go. You played in Detroit and Toronto, of course, 2 original 6 teams, and 2 real tough hockey markets, especially that Toronto market. The Leafs this year. I got to get a comment from you on the Leafs this year.
Yeah, you know what? It's if you were to build a team for a market like that, or Montreal, you'd want them all to be young. And when you're young, you're a little more impenetrable. The older you get and you haven't won a cup, you start to press. But these guys are all young, they're healthy. It's a perfect environment. They grow up together. You want them all the same age. I mean, they did a great job of assembling talent and draft picks that are playing. I've never seen the Leafs have that many draft picks in the lineup. So somebody's done a great job. A lot of people have done a great job. So I'm excited about this team. I love the talent level and the passion that they play with. So very exciting to watch.
Got to mention as well, Curtis was the recipient. He didn't win a cup, but he won the King Clancy Award, which is I call a very important award as far as a pro athlete as an NHL player. A good friend of mine as well, Adam Graves, also won that same award. And I watched Adam as a junior here and saw the type of person he is. So winning that award just speaks volumes about you as a person. And you have to be really proud to have your name on that trophy.
Yeah, for sure. And guys like Adam Graves that are on the trophy, he's the standard by which all nice hockey players are measured. He's such a great person.
He's got an edge to him, though.
Yeah, no, that's what you need when he steps on the ice, right?
Yeah,
Off the ice, he's a great guy, but when he steps on the ice, he's tough. We actually played Junior B together in King City,
okay.
King City Dukes, when he was a superstar, and I was, just an old man at that time.
Well, you're a testament that persistence pays off. You don't have to get drafted, kids. You could still make it to the NHL. And this guy, Hall of Fame career, he is in a Hall of Fame, not the NHL one yet, not the hockey. That's coming, but he is in a Hall of Fame, and there's more to come for Curtis Joseph. I'll let you get going. I know you got to get over.
Thanks, Doug.
Great to see you.
Yep.
Congratulations on everything. Congratulations on the book. Again, CUJO will be over at Indigo in a short period of time. He'd be happy to meet you and sign your books. Get out and read this book. This book has some humor in it. It's got some life lessons in it. It's got some great hockey stories in it. It's the perfect book to read, and you'll enjoy it. No, even if you're not a hockey fan, you'll enjoy reading this book. So get out and see CUJO and get it signed. That's it for this special edition of We Now. Again, thanks to CUJO. Thanks to Mike Miller for taking time to join us. And we'll talk to you all again soon. Take care, everybody.